Good morning. How do you feel? Did you copy down all the materials previously taken? Now we slowly enter to the main topic. Means previous classes I was dealing with a certain introductory topics related to modern grammar, how we reach modern grammar from the beginning, traditional, then what you call structural grammar, after that phrase structural grammar, after that you reach transformational generative grammar, then you reach supra-sentential grammar, what is called pseudo grammar, ultra modern grammar, which now being very much researched by many linguists. So slowly we enter to main topic, word order. About word order already we discussed some. What all things we discussed in the last class about word order? Word order, first topic, word order. In English language we have very non-flexible word order. How can you explain non-flexible word order? We took so many examples in all other languages, including Malayalam. We have flexible word order. But here in English language, we have S plus V plus O order in active voice. Only S can be followed by verb. Only V can be followed by object. And normally, second flexible word order will be the passive construction, mean transformation. That may be discussed later. But generally in the active voice construction, we have what order? Yes, subject, followed by verb, followed by object. That is called word order. And after discussing word order, we slowly entered to traditional grammar. What is called the pause? What is called pause? Parts of speeches, which is naturally coming in the unit number 1. You go to the syllabus. And I slowly discussed the parts of speeches, which is known as word forms in modern English. And we discussed what is n. You remember what is n? And what is n? P plus P2 plus A plus T, definition over. Earlier animal as an entity was not given in the field of noun by traditional grammarians. Modern grammarians added animal inside. You go to the dictionary, elephant, you take elephant. It is given noun. But in the definition of traditional grammarians, elephant was not included. Their definition was name of a person, place, a thing. Animal is not mentioned. But in all the dictionaries, all animals are included in the category of noun. Means there was a defect rectified by modern grammarians. This is the benefit of searches, researches. Now we discuss slowly what is a noun. That is a place, that is a person, that is an animal, that is a thing. Slowly we reached a second step, what is called a cat. Not ordinary cat, category. What is category? Category means types. Formula we discussed according to modern grammar. Proper noun, common noun, abstract noun, material noun. Like that, so many collective nouns. All these are written here. Formula finish. Then again we discussed n is equal to number n, g, c. N plus g plus c means what? Number, gender, case. Am I right? We discussed in the former classes. N again divided to C plus UC. UC means uncountables related to chalk and soap and all that we discussed. You remember? All these you have to keep in correct order in the notebook, otherwise you will get confused. I teach all the grammatical approaches in the modern way. For that, so many labels we use. All these labels you may not use in the exam paper, but for the purpose of understanding, for the purpose of comprehension, you keep all these in your mind. Are you okay? You follow me? Yes, good. So you see concept, countable concept. Many examples I put. X is going to bathroom, want soap. We cannot provide soap. We can give only piece of soap or cake of soap. Michael Swan says only cake of soap is allowed, not soap. We normally ask the soap, bring soap, bring soap, bring soap. Teacher calling the leader of the class, monitor, you go and please bring chalk. No, only piece of chalk. Chalk is UC. UC means uncountable concept. You have to convert them into countable concept. Normally we use furniture. Never use furnitures. Why? Furnitures is plural entity which has no weight available in the dictionary, only furniture. So how can you make it countable? We say piece of furniture. A piece of furniture. So uncountable concept you get, some uncountable concept. These concepts can be converted to countables by adding a piece of. The same way poetry. Poetry is UC concept. What is written in language is poetry. But poem is countable. You write a piece of poetry, otherwise a poem. Luggage. Luggage is never use luggage. So in order to convert them into countable, you need a process. All these that we discussed. And after that we come to number system, what is called the S and P concept, singular and plural concept. Plenty steps are there. What steps that I followed here insufficient to go to traditional grammar book and refer. Many traditional grammar books available that you studied yourself, one silver plus grammar book in CBSE. In ICSE also one workbook is there. Central Board of Secondary Education also in the high school 10th grade and 12th grade. Workbook is available. All these workbooks make use of this type of modern grammar method. So what I try to tell you, go through in a systematic order, word order, then coming next step by in the what is given in the syllabus that you keep in the chapter wise like that you study. Then after this concept we reach the gender system. How many gender system available in traditional grammar? You tell me. No idea, but we discussed in the last class. Masculine gender refers to males. Feminine gender refers to females. Neuter gender, not both. Common gender, both. But not easily to identify. What difference between? The rule is, gender form is masculine, feminine, neuter, common. M, F and C written in the last class. You have written in the notebook. So all these are really coming. Then later we reach the case system. Remember, we stopped there, case system. What is case system? All these areas coming in the first unit that you refer once again. Case system. Case system. We got nominative case. We got accusative case, we got vocative case, we got possessive case, we got dative case. Now look, how many cases available? What are the uses of cases? What is called a nominative? Shortly say. You understand me? Shortly say. What is nominative? A subject appears on the position of subject. A word, a noun that appears on the subject. Nominative. What is accusative? Accusative means a word appears on the position of object. Subject, object. Vocative, calling somebody. Raju, come here. Revision. I am doing revision. Possessive, showing the position. Somebody's. My house. It is yours. Then dative. Once you get two objects, which one is the best one? Will be direct accusative. Less important one will be dative. So these are the case systems. After that, second category that we came to pronouns, pronominal system. Discussed last year. That is called PPN, divided into three. First person, second person, third person. Then we reached IPN, again divided, only third person available. Then category of pronouns, pronominal system. Indefinite pronoun, reflexive pronoun, emphatic pronoun, distributive pronoun, interrogative pronoun, relative pronoun. All these are finished. After that means, after reaching word order, you go to the area of parts of speech or word forms in modern English. Then step by step, there are 9 parts of speeches given. You have to make a very thorough, detailed work on that. Then only you can follow modern grammar in the easy way. Unfortunately, 2 areas already I have taken. Unfortunately, balance area coming to the unit number 1. That you refer and you study yourself. Then you follow me. Then keep in mind, do not hesitate anything. You can ask me anytime, any doubts. But we have to cover portions. So we deal with the 5th unit, dealing with the whole modern grammar area. But I should tell you, reaching this area, following this area, you should develop all of the backer areas, particularly word forms, function words, then all mood and modality, all the areas that you have to see. So, word order is immediately after that. Suppose you get word order, you get 2 important platforms that already we discussed. 2 platforms means word order should be systematic. Already discussed. Second area, it should be meaningful. Alright? These 2 segments, important points you have to keep in mind. Otherwise, sentence will go wrong. Plenty examples available. I already took so many examples. One example, that sun rises in the west, already taken. Some people showed me very impression on that. Then again another question coming, example, you get gives milk cow A. Look here. You get one example, gives milk. This is, according to modern grammar, jumbled shape. You will write a meaningful sentence systematically, then meaningfully. Normally, a child takes, a cow gives milk. We can very boldly say this sentence is systematically correct. Why? Yes follow, we follow, O follow, okay, meaningfully also correct. Am I right? So this is the order. Word order you have to keep in mind. Word order. So suppose a child rides. Suppose a child write, milk gives a cow. All right. Milk gives a cow. Suppose a child writes in this way, what will you say? How can you make it correct for the child if child asking doubt? Systematically okay, grammatically okay, but meaningfully this part segment will be wrong. Example, tails long have monkeys. Tails long have monkeys. How will you write? Monkeys have long tails. We can never say monkeys long tails. Monkeys long tails have. We cannot easily say. So systematically sentence should be correct. This word order you have to keep in mind. All these coming in the first unit that you keep in mind. So immediately after pronominal system, then you go to the noun, then adjective, pronominal adjectives, then verb, adverb, like that you make a thorough study related to traditional grammar. Then things will be okay. But our problem here coming, after this, you will reach some statements, sentence making statements. The method, in this method you have to follow. Reaching this statement, you have to keep in mind what is called, we have a system called auxiliary system. Auxiliary system. All right, auxiliary system. Already studied in the previous classes, higher secondary, high school classes. But according to modern method, unless you understand this method, you cannot move in this way. So make auxiliary system. In what way you will study auxiliary system? Auxiliary system can be divided into two sections. First, very, very, very important, keep in mind. So that first area is called PAUX. In modern grammar labels, we call PAUX. P means primary auxiliary. Alright, then second section is MAUX. Alright, MAU is primary auxiliary, then modal auxiliary. MODAL, modal auxiliary. Alright, modal auxiliary. So two sections are available. One is primary auxiliary, one is modal auxiliary. Related to verb, that you keep in mind. What is verb? One of the parts of speeches that you will study later. Then POX is again divided into three divisions that you keep in mind. That is called verb be group, then have group, then do group. All right. Look here, primary auxiliary system. We have primary auxiliary system divided into three sections: be section, have section, do section. And again, these are divided into three. These are divided into three. These are divided into three. Present, past, then past participle. Present, past, past participle. Here also present, past, past participle. So all these areas you have to keep in mind. Verb be, you will get to singular and plural. Singular. This present will again divide to singular and plural. Example, you will get a be. Present singular is again converted to are. This is singular, this is plural. Again you will get a was, plural again where. This is been. Like that have, you will get a has, had. Here you will get a do, does, did, done. Like that you will get. So different forms possible to primary auxiliary system. So basically primary auxiliary system we have three divisions. One is be, one is have, one is do. All these forms to be kept in mind once you go to make these steps. Normally after modal primary auxiliary, you will reach modal auxiliary. What is this? This is simple. You will get only present and past. Modal auxiliaries and primary auxiliaries are different. Example, you will get present here. One example, you take can. You will get could. You will get may. You will get might. You will get will. You will get would. You will get shall. You will get should. These are modal auxiliaries. May, might, can, could. Okay. So once you reach for different steps to make sentences, you should make an awareness of hocs and mocs. And could you tell me what is the main difference between mocs and pocs? Only the word forms. In their function also different. Alright, Michael Swan grammarian says, primary auxiliary is very, very crucial. Primary auxiliary is mandatory. Means what? We cannot easily avoid it. Whereas modal auxiliary, if you do not want, you can cancel it. I'll take one example. He is eating a mango. Simple example. I take a very simple example to make you understand. Am I right? Are you okay? He is eating a mango. His subject is eating VGP that you are going to ask. This is ox. Which ox? Primary ox. This is primary ox. Is. Why? One of the elements of B. Earlier now discussed. So this is eating a mango. This is eating. Together make a verb. Together make a VGP. Alright. You write another example. The same he can. Alright. He can. You write example. Best example. Sometimes it will get a confusion over here. We will write another example to get. They are eating mango or mangoes. You write. This is fine example. They subject, eating, VGP, mangoes, object. Same example you write in another way. They can eat mangoes. Look here. Look here. R is pox. Can is mox. Am I right? R is plural form of is and which is element of B. That is are eating. Suppose you rub this R here, sentence will be wrong. Am I right? Suppose you rub this R from VGB or VBH or VB or verbal phrase, verbal part. You rub this area, cancel this area, sentence will be incorrect. Whereas you rub this area, remaining part will be correct. Follow me? Are you okay? So keep in mind, anybody asking you what is the main difference between pox and mox? Pox is mandatory. And whatever elements coming under the section of mox or modal auxiliary, they are not at all mandatory. They show what is called your beautiful syllabus in the first unit, mood and the modality. They show mood. I can kill you. It is my mood. I can kill you. Can you kill me? Your mood. Mood and modality coming in the unit number 1. Whereas here, this mood can be changed. Whereas, pox, whichever the element of any forms like be, like do, like have, cannot be deleted from VGP. It is integral part of VGP. It is important part of verbal phrase. It is important part of VP. 3 of them are same. So whenever they ask anybody asking you, what is the difference between modal auxiliary in function or different from primary auxiliary in function, you have to show this way. Okay, so understand primary auxiliary and modal auxiliary in detail, which is available in your traditional grammar book. And you come to the statement. First you get step number 1, what is called statement. Modern grammar goes like this way, statement. What is a statement? Statement, what is called that you studied, so many sentence types you studied in the schools, higher secondary level, statement. Positive sentence, declarative sentence. All right, declarative, assertive sentences, affirmative sentences. All these sentences, again I tell you once again, keep in mind, order should be correct, then meaning should be correct. If meaning goes wrong, statement will go wrong. The beautiful example shown by Leach in communicative English. Example, the first statement I told you, word order, that the earth revolved round the sun. Example. Again I repeat, the earth revolved round the sun. My question, is it a correct sentence? Can you anybody tell me what wrong goes there? Once you systematically try to divide, you got all the elements. Earth, you got the subject. Revolved, you got verb. Round the sun, considered to be object or considered to be adjunct. That will come to later. But my question, systematically it is okay. But meaningfully this is wrong. Why? Here written V4 means verbal past form of the verb. Past form of verb not to be used here because it is a statement. It is a statement. We should write here, instead of ed, revolves around the sun. Sentence should be correct in a statement means what? Meaning should be correct. If you write in past tense, earth revolved around the sun yesterday, not now. Will it be okay? Will it be okay? If earth stops today revolving around the sun, what will be our future? So be careful using the word here. Meaning should be correct. You should write earth revolves around the sun, not allowed to write past tense revolved around the sun. Means yesterday revolved, today not revolving. The same way, God loved you all. Can you write God loved you all? Means what? Yesterday loved, not loving today. God is perpetually loving everybody. Am I right? Yeah. So you should be very careful. Once you use a systematic order, then you check the meaning is correct. So this is what I must tell you about statements. So once you get a statement, understand whether POX and MOX used. Once then you write a sentence like that, you use statement. What one statement that we wrote? Example statement 1. You are ready. One example. Ready for anything. You are ready for writing exam. Am I right? You, subject, verb, are ready, considered to be object. Ready, statement, okay. Okay. Means consider this are used here, which is a POX coming here, then convert this into a question. Convert. This method is called question method coming into inversion type. I will tell you inversion. What is inversion? Keep in mind, the same statement can be converted to a process. That process is called inversion process. Here written inversion. What is inversion? It is modern grammatical method. Inversion. I tell you, once you get, keep in mind, once you get primary auxiliary, this has been already referred in the transaction class, myself taken for you in the second semester. The same process coming here. But we cannot avoid this process and jump into another process. Am I right? So inversion to be kept. What is inversion? First thing, keep in mind, whenever you get primary auxiliary, which all they be, do, have. When you get mocks, can, could, will, should, like that, in a sentence, inversion symbol. I'll tell you. Example, John is reading a book. Statement okay. Statement okay. But is considered to be pox. Primary auxiliary written here. Our duty, this statement change into a question. Alright, how? Then you take this is into front side. Then you write is John reading a book? Question mark. Probably in traditional grammarians, they refer this pattern is yes or no question. But in modern grammarians, they put another label, inversion. What is inversion? You, whenever you get a pox and a mox, you take in front, make it a capital, then put a question, then you will get yes, comma, he is, no, comma, he isn't. You get positive and negative answer you will get. This process is called inversion process. So under the question frame, you get a basic form is inversion. What is inversion? Whenever you get a pox and a mox, you change them into a question form, then you get two answers. Example, we'll take one example. They can fly. They can fly. You take a can, mox, modal auxiliary. What will you do? What will you do to make a question? Simple. Put in this, invert. Take a front. Then make it a capital. Can they fly? Put a question. Answer, yes, they can. No, they can't. In the same way, means what? Statement can be changed into a question. That question also based on the inversion process. On the other hand, what will you do if you ask insertion process? What is that insertion? To change into question. Simple method, concentrate. I will tell you. In the case a statement, you do not get a primary auxiliary. You do not get a modal auxiliary. Then what will you do? You have to depend on one primary auxiliary. I'll tell you an example. They play football. Look here. They play football. Statement is okay. But no primary auxiliary, no modal auxiliary available. Then what will you do? You depend primary auxiliary do form. You depend primary auxiliary do form. Already referred in the second semester. Step will be again they do plus not plus play plus football. Look here. We added do, primary auxiliary. We put inside do in the sentence. This putting inside of the sentence is called insertion. Depending on the tense of the time reference of the tense of the verb, you put do here. If it is played here, you put did. If he plays coming, you put does. Then you will get a what? Do and do not. Positive sentence and negative sentence. Then after inserting this do as a box, then invert. Example, you will get a do they play football? Question mark. Means inversion possible. After insertion, you put in inversion. Then again question coming. Answer will be yes, they do. No, they don't. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah. Am I right? Yeah. So once you do not get primary auxiliary, modal auxiliary in a sentence, understand, underline first verb. Then check whether it is the present and past and future like. Then think which do form to be used here. Then insertion will be over. This is also called yes or no question. But modern grammarians call inversion, insertion followed by inversion. One more example we take so that you can make it clear. All right. John, eats an apple. Another example. Here eats coming. No box, no ox, no mox, nothing else. Then underline. Think about to do. Repeat. You will get a John do plus yes. Here S coming. This S applied here. Not bracket. Eat. S already gone there with the do, does. Then eat an apple. Then you invert. You will get a possible positive. Then you will get a negative. Positive and negative question you will get. Example. You will get a does John eat an apple? Question mark. You will get a yes, he does. No, he doesn't. This is the way of first keeping the do form inside the sentence. Insertion, then you invert, then you will get a question. This is called questions, then jumping into inversion and insertion. Again, that is called WH interrogative pattern. Interrogative pattern is easy. Alright, you get in the all exams, they will underline a particular area. Example, here an apple. Okay, what is interrogative? Please keep in mind, interrogative means WH questions. Once you get a WH question, apply for which area it is meant for. Now we want the apple. Okay, so for that apple, you select WH word, then apply from the back. Example, here, does John eat an apple? You got. You write what applied first, then D capital will be small. Does John, alright, eat? Question. You apply what? Suitably from the back of the inversion. Then you will get a what does John eat? Normally you will get an apple answer. Suppose in the class, here one more added element. In the class, you add where does John eat? You will get the answer in the class. Am I right? At 10 o'clock or after the interval, you add when. You will get when does John eat? After the interval, you will get answer. So my attempt, my effort to make you understand, you get a statement, first possible way, how to convert them to a question. Two possible way. First way is inversion method. Second way is insertion followed by inversion method. Third way, add interrogative question from the back. Is it clear to you? Are you okay? You understand? So statement order coming first, word order. Then you go to Ox and Pox system, referring to traditional grammar book, you will get to Ox and Pox system, then automatically statements coming, then first statement you change into question. How you change into question? That is based on two process. First two process. One process is inversion. Second process is insertion. Inversion is easy. How to identify? Whenever you get a primary auxiliary, whenever you get a modal auxiliary in a sentence, invert, take to the front, put a question, answer, positive, answer, negative, finish. Suppose you do not get pox and mox, underline the verb, think about, then you fetch do as a pox. Do is a box. You take that box from in your imagination, put inside, process insertion. After putting insertion, take inversion front, you will get a inversion process. Second process is called insertion followed by inversion by modern grammarians. Answer will be positive and negative. Normally, people will ask me sometimes. After the class, they will ask me in the WhatsApp and the mail ID, what is this and this and. Normally, I expect another question. How, sir, interrogative making? Simple. Understand or underline the area for which you want to make a question. Here, an apple, you add what? At 10 o'clock, you add when? In the auditorium, in the classroom, you add where? Answer is correct. Positive and negative, okay? So, I tell you, go through traditional grammar in the correct way, get some ideas, especially parts of speech area thorough with. In a modern, I taught you nouns and pronominal system in the modern method. Either you follow the modern method or in the traditional method, make thorough with the area of parts of speeches, and we'll go to the modern area and study. Anyway, I hope you understood today's topic. Agreed? So you keep in the all materials in the proper way, and we go step by step what all the areas, especially in the word order area, step by step we have. So you keep in mind, after statement we reach questions, and this question can be converted in the two process, and again another step is called a negative. Negative is simple, so this statement can be changed into negative. All right, the process is adding not and no. All right, these are the two simple methods. So first you get a statement, change into negative, then you change into question. Third step, change into question, then you make it a imperative. Imperative, example here negative, you put I have a pen. All right, you add here no. All right, you will get a negative sentence. In the same way, you can put it in the, because ox coming here, you can invert them. You will get the inversion question form. Any type of question, then negative question, then imperative. All right, example, you, all right, write a poem. One example, suppose you definitely avoid subject, then you will get a imperative, write a poem. Imperative has two important divisions. One is order, second one is politeness. Please write a poem, you will get imperative politeness. Write a poem, write down homework, like you will get a imperative order. So after that you put an exclamation. So order is statement, change into negative, then change into question, then change into imperative, then change into exclamatory. For exclamatory, showing your excitedness. Lot of excitement that we use. What a beautiful scenery it is. What a beautiful picture it is. Like that, you add some exclamatory marks and exclamatory words that will close you. So again I repeat, you will get in word order. After that, you get meaningfulness and structure. Then you get it to the statement. This statement can be converted to negative. This negative can be converted to question. The same question can be converted to inversion. The inversion can be converted to insertion followed by inversion. Then converted to WH question. Then we can add it to imperatives, politeness plus order, then exclamatory. This is the area of what is called word order and basic sentence patterns. After that, next class, I will give you sentence pattern, what is called kernel sentence patterns, by which first area of the unit number 5 will be finished. Okay, thank you once again.